Let's go over what kind of equipment we need to do an invisible hem by machine. You're of course free to do an invisible hem by hand or to do a turn and top stitch if you don't mind having a little top stitching showing at the bottom. But if you want a dress pant look, invisible hem is the way to go. This is also sometimes called blind hem, and you will probably hear it referred to that in your sewing machine manual or maybe some other places. To start off with, there's a special foot that you use for these invisible hems or blind hems. They all have different, manufacturers have different little formats for them, but they all do the same basic thing. This happens to be for my Bernina machine, and it has this guide that goes along here. And when you fold your fabric to do the invisible hem, this guide rests right up against the fold to keep everything straight. And the needle goes down into the middle here, and you can see there's another guide in the middle, and it jogs out a tiny bit, and the needle just goes right alongside that jog so that you get a great stitch. This is for a Kenmore machine. Similar idea, except the guide is this white plastic bit, and this one happens to have a little screw so you can adjust the width of the fold to stitch ratio. Same thing with this Pfaff one. It also has a little screw to adjust, and otherwise it has the same guide system that the other ones do. You have a special stitch that you use for invisible hem, and it looks like this. I did it on a little bit of twill so you could see what it looks like. It'll take a couple of little stitches, and then it will make an abrupt zigzag, boom boom, and then da 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 da, boom boom, and so forth. And when you do an invisible hem, this is what it looks like on the right side. So obviously I used a contrasting thread so you could see it, but there's these tiny little nibbles that it takes along here, but otherwise you really can't see the hem at all. Again, here's what it looks like from the wrong side. And when you sew, what you do is you fold it over so that it's going to sew like this, where there's a couple of stitches that will be taken, several stitches that will be taken on this sort of raw edge area, then a little nibble with a zigzag into the fold area, which will create the hem. And when you press it out, it looks like this. So it's worthwhile to do if you have the equipment and the time and interest. It takes a little doing though, so I'm going to show you how that works now. Again, finish your raw edge of your hem. I'm just gonna call this the raw edge, even though I did finish it just for the sake of making sense in this video. The Secret Jeans trousers have a hem, a built-in hem of 1.5 inches or about 4 centimeters. So start by just marking that line, and this is on the wrong side of the pant. You're gonna have to mark. You have to mark it a couple places, but for starters, mark it on the wrong side of the hem, on the wrong side of the pant, along here, and then you need to mark it an additional 5/8 of an inch, because and I'll just to make a difference, I'll just do that in a straight line sort of marking. I'm going to do it on both sides of the leg. This here, like this cute little neon yellow marker is exactly 5/8 an inch wide, so it's kind of nice for doing things like this. The line that you put above is where the fold is going to be when you do the blind hem itself. So fold it in. You can fold it in like this, make a little kind of reverse cuff, as it were, and just get that right on the line. You can, if you want to get real fancy with it, you could press it. I'm just going to show you here what that looks like. So we have that. That's where the stitching is going to be. The second line that you make is where the stitches are going to be, and then from there, you just pull the raw edge, or in this case just the very edge of the leg out. It's almost like a little cuff and a half kind of situation, and it's going to tuck in there. And from there, I'm going to give this about 1 million pins so that everything stays where it's supposed to be. And again, you're going to sew along that second line, so make sure that that's where the fold is, and then make sure that there's enough of the raw edge peeking out to give you a little runway for the guide to sit on. Because again, as I showed you here, it's going to take a couple of bites in the raw edge, and then it's going to do a little zigzag to grab the main leg of the trousers themselves. So I'm going to finish doing this pin job all the way around the pant leg. and then I'll take you over to the machine and show you what it looks like. Here's that twill sample that I showed you earlier, and I'll just use that again to show how this goes. You have, your machine has, this is a straight stitch, and then it should have a stitch that looks like this. It happens to be number 29 on this, and it goes, it's a small stitch, it's less than 2 millimeters, and it's doot, 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 and then doot over one zigzag, and so forth. And you put it down into your machine here, and it will start doing the stitching, and in the little stitches, the straight stitches are going to go along here, and then every so often, every 5 stitches or so, it makes a little zigzag and just takes a tiny nibble out of what we'll imagine that this part is the pant leg itself. And this, again, is what it looks like when it's stitched. This is what it looks like, and then you're going to press it, and then it will look like this with just these tiny little nibbles. So we're all ready to go. Going to hem the pant now using this method. So I'm going to go all the way around, and then I will press it, and I'll show you what it looks like. And just to show you again, here's the chalk line I did with the fold line, and that is where the stitching is going into that fold line, the little zigzag stitch. Coming up on the end here, and I'm just going to knot it off, not on the pant leg itself, but on the raw edge. Okay, here's our hem, and this is where we've been doing all the stitching. And then when you unfold it, this is what it looks like on the wrong side. And on the right side, it looks like this, which is to say that hem is invisible, hence the invisible stitch. So give it a press, and your pants are all hemmed, and they are ready for your final try on.